Hello, welcome back to the Plant-Based Performance Podcast with myself, Coach Kayla, and Plant-Based Running Tip Tuesdays live with Coach Kayla. I am Coach Kayla. I am an online plant-based dietitian, nutrition, and run coach, and I'm so glad you guys are here. And if you're watching this replay, also make sure to comment below on YouTube if you're seeing me live, or if you're listening to this on the podcast. Definitely, let us know if you like this episode, if this was helpful for you, let us know. So first, before we get into things and get into our topic, but I hope everybody is having a really good week. I do just want to apologize if anybody is live looking at what I look like right now. Hopefully, if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see me, which is great, because I did have to bike home in the rain with all my stuff, all my gym stuff, coming back home, and then hopped on a client call, which I just got off. Haven't had dinner yet, so it's been crazy here, but I hope everybody's doing well. And if you haven't heard or haven't seen you've probably seen my updates on social media about my foot and my stress injury and all that stuff. But I have been trying to keep people updated if you are interested in that. And just what's going on with me. If you are on Facebook, I've been pretty much keeping updates, but basically where we're at now is we're pretty much starting all over. I'm pretty sure I re-injured my stress fracture, so we are now in a boot. I don't know how long. Everyone's kind of been asking me, how long do I have to be in this? I'm like, I don't really know, but I've accepted it is what it is. It may not run until next year, and that is okay. At this point, I just want to heal the best that I can. I want to do what I can do best for my body. As you can see in the background, you can see my stability ball. So I bought a stability ball. I have some weights, things like that. So we're focused on strengthening my body, going to the chiropractor and just taking care of my body, and doing exercises that just feel good as well, that just make me feel good, that can really help. So anyways, that's just kind of a quick little update on that. If you're interested in that, I can do more of an update and talk more about that too in another live, but I don't want to take up too much time right now, because today I want to talk about amino acids. And this is a topic that just kind of came up because I was recently interviewed for Runner's World about this topic. So I wanted to talk about this because this comes up a lot, and people are always asking me questions about, amino acids and complete proteins and all of this stuff. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about this a little bit here tonight. So that's what our topic is going to be for today. So what is the difference between essential and non-essential amino acids? Essential basically means that they are essential because we have to get them in our diet. Our body does not make them. So non-essential amino acids are amino acids that our body can make. So we don't necessarily have to get them. They're not essential that we get them in our diets. What's the difference between complete and incomplete proteins? Well, the difference between both of these is that complete proteins contains all essential amino acids. There's 9 essential amino acids, and incomplete proteins don't. So that's what the difference is between. Now, something too that's important with amino acids is why are these important to get? Why is it important to get complete proteins and get all your amino acids? So amino acids are in protein. So we know protein is important for muscle growth as well as recovery as athletes and endurance athletes and runners. So important to make sure that we're incorporating, protein post-workout, but also more specifically getting all these amino acids. And getting all these amino acids can be a little more challenging in a plant-based diet, but it's not impossible. So we don't have to supplement. We can get them from our diet. It's just a little bit more challenging and something we may need to do a little bit more vigilance or planning to make sure we're doing it. And why? Yeah. So let's see. So something I do wanted to explain too, because I did talk about this in the interview as well, is the difference between also complete proteins and incomplete protein. Or no, sorry, I already talked about the incomplete. So um yeah, so another, or combining proteins. Sorry, I wanted to talk about combining proteins. That's what I was trying to go towards. So when you've probably heard of needing to combine proteins in order to get all essential amino acids. Now, this is more widely known. This isn't new fact of, this has been a myth that's been around for a long time. So we no longer have to necessarily combine both of these foods at the same time to get all these all amino acids. We just need to incorporate it during the day. So I do for the most part encourage people to have small meal snacks, like 5 to 6 throughout the day to make sure we're well fueled. And this works really well too, to just include all the foods that we need to make sure we're including all of our amino acids. So, these, but it is helpful too to think of this as protein combinations if that helps. But I guess I should say it doesn't have to be that same meal. But some examples of what this would be is really basically combining a grain, like a whole grain, like brown rice. Quinoa is a complete protein, but quinoa, pasta, right? These grains, or oatmeal with a legume or bean or seed. So, excuse me. So basically, that would be rice and beans, right? That's the most common combination that we know of, or that most people know, right? It could be also hummus is also considered a complete protein combination because it's chickpeas with tahini, which is made out of a nut seed. So that it would be an example. And then there's chickpeas, a legume, pasta, and peas. So anything basically, as I said, the grain with a protein. And as I said, it doesn't have to be the same meal, but if it helps you to make sure you're getting those amino acids and that helps, then do that. There's no saying that you can't do that. It's just you don't have to, basically, to eat them at the same meal. Another thing I wanted to talk about too with amino acids as well is lysine. Lysine is also one of the more important amino acids that we want to make sure we're doing. So I recently, not really too recently, but I did create meal plans for No Meat Athlete, if you know of them. And if you want to check out their meal plans, go for it, because I did spend a lot of time, and I don't get commission or payment or anything beyond what No Meat Athlete paid me for, kind of like as a contractor to do this for them. But I don't get beyond that any compensation or anything. But if you want to check them out, they could be super helpful, just because that was not something that I do for individually clients, because it just takes way too much time to do that. And it's more of like a general plan. But anyways, one of the things that I needed to include was to reach the amount of lysine. I believe is 2,500 milligrams. Don't quote me on that. And I've tried to look on more research around lysine. I will maybe at some point come back and do a part 2 of this video if I do find more. But I have been having a really hard time finding more information on lysine. There is definitely some research and evidence of the importance of lysine in plant-based diets and for athletes. So just something to consider. That's just one amino acid that I do include. Like if I do a nutrition analysis for somebody in one of my clients, I do look at the lysine and just, make sure that they are getting enough of lysine. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, I think that's basically it. The biggest thing too, which I feel like a broken record, and I repeat this over and over again because everything I feel like I talk about, I say this, but variety is key. We need to have variety in our diets, and that's what's going to really help us to meet all of our nutrition needs without really worrying about missing out on anything. So as long as we're creating that variety, following the daily dozen, getting enough calories and fuel in general, we should be okay. Of course, if you're struggling at all, don't hesitate to reach out. This is why I specifically work with this population, because it is challenging. And I see this over and over again when clients come to me and they ask for help. And I get it. It is challenging. As you guys know, if you're following my story, I struggle too. But I love giving the information and what ideally we want it to look like, and also help you to figure out how to do it as well, because sometimes there are just roadblocks and mental roadblocks of just how do we actually make this happen for our lifestyle or what's going on in our lives, right? It can make it even more challenging beyond just food. There's all these other challenges that can come at us, and that's where I come into play. I'm not just, I can be there for accountability, can be there for helping you make, recommendations when it comes to your nutrition, but also, figuring out how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this happen? What is going to work for you based on the knowledge that we know and we understand. So that's all I got for you. Thank you very much for watching or listening, and I will see you guys next time. And I believe it's almost September, so I believe I will be going back to once a week lives or podcast episodes. So I am looking forward to more topic ideas, more people to interview. I would love to get back into interviewing more people as well, professionals or even athletes. If you want to be on the podcast, reach out to me, let me know. Would love to have you on the podcast, and would love to start doing more of that. So thank you again, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.